Credit card giants planning to start separately categorizing sales at gun shops, essentially keeping track of who is buying what. Some gun control advocates say this is a win, but for some gun owners, it's raising concerns about privacy. Correspondent Paul Gerke is joining us live with more on this, Paul.
Good evening, Nicole. The International Organization for Standardization has announced a new merchant category code for gun sales. Until Friday, gun sales were considered general merchandise. But now in the eyes of our biggest payment processors, they're in a category all themselves.
Visa, MasterCard, and American Express plan to start categorizing sales at gun shops with a unique merchant code. Gun control advocates believe this will help keep better track of suspicious sales that might be a prelude to a mass shooting. New York City Mayor Eric Adams thinks the concept is common sense. So does Comptroller Brad Lander.
All this time, even though there's been a merchant category code for bike shops and nail salons and barber shops, the International Standards Organization has not yet created, and the credit card companies have not yet begun to use something as simple as a merchant category code for standalone gun shops.
But gun rights advocates argue that categorizing gun sales is unfair, since most purchases don't lead to mass shootings. The ISO's decision to create a firearm-specific code is nothing more than a capitulation to anti-gun politicians and activists, bent on eroding the rights of law-abiding Americans one transaction at a time, says an NRA spokesman in a statement to NewsNation. This is not about tracking or prevention or any virtuous motivation. It's about creating a national registry of gun owners. Idaho Senator Mike Crapo takes it a step further, tweeting, "This raises serious privacy concerns." He's worried the payment processing networks might target lawful businesses. Privacy advocates are uneasy about another potential means of surveillance, although in hindsight, tracking credit card purchases may have helped prevent some recent mass shootings. The Uvalde shooter purchased his weapon with a bank card. The Pulse nightclub attacker put more than $26,000 in guns on a credit card a week beforehand. But there's no one-size-fits-all solution to preventing gun violence. Purchase codes would likely have done nothing to prevent the deadly Route 91 festival massacre in Las Vegas. That assailant had amassed nearly $100,000 in guns, but none were bought with a card, according to a New York Times investigation.
Nicole, it's important to note that the credit card companies are effectively middlemen when it comes to transactions. Visa or Amex isn't going to cancel your card because they see suspicious activity at a gun store. Any action that's taken would have to come from the banks that issue the cards themselves. Nicole?
All right, Paul Gerke live in New York. Thank you for that. All right, joining in on this conversation now is Mike Brown. Mike is a law enforcement veteran and a firearms instructor and criminal justice lecturer. Mike, thank you so much for being with us. You certainly know guns. You certainly know gun safety. What do you like about this? What concerns you?
Well, I understand both sides of the house. I like it because I don't want to say like it. I say I understand it because I get the classification of different types of purchases. But I do have to agree with the NRA that this does begin to focus on those who purchase firearms, maybe not necessarily at the gun stores, because you can still purchase those things with cash or through other means, given that gun stores do have ATMs in, on, or around the actual gun store. But for online purchases and other types of gun sales, I could see that data be used in a multi-level investigation, either at the local, county, or state level. And I do see this as a form of a workaround to a gun registry.
All right, so you kind of like pointed out those other instances. Mike, do you think this is potentially an invasion of privacy, or does the greater good outweigh that potential invasion?
I can see it being construed as an invasion of privacy, but it's not going to stop anything. It's just going to make an investigation easier in certain respects. But like I've said before in plenty of media outlets, you're not going to be able to criminalize ingenuity. And this is just another political workaround to avoid talking about the real issues, human behavior, and what motivates people to get to that trigger point where mass shootings are possible.
Well, so Mike, speaking of that, I mean, you have a law enforcement background. We talked about at the top of this. Do you think this could potentially help authorities prevent another tragic mass shooting before it is too late, before we hear the thoughts and the prayers?
No. And here's the reason why. Who's going to monitor it? Who's going to monitor it? You know, I could see this being used to have a lot of law enforcement agencies, provided they have the manpower, knock at the doors of various people. But take, for instance, a situation that just happened in Illinois in the month of August this month, last month, 1,800 people had their FOID cards and concealed carry licenses revoked by the state police in respect to what happened in Highland Park under 8F of the FOI Card Act, a mental health prohibitor. Not one state trooper, not one police officer has been by to visit any of these alleged people that have clear and present danger. Law enforcement doesn't have enough people for what they're trying to do. And so this is just another workaround for, in the event something happens, they'll be able to easily find this person. But I don't know if it's going to prevent anything, because most active shooters typically self-delete.
And you mentioned there was something I also want to touch on, the fact that you said we just don't have enough law enforcement personnel. You know, we hear story after story of guns being used for crimes that don't actually belong to the person who committed the crime. So will that create potentially a challenge for police?
There's always challenges for police, because I'm disgusted to say it, but it's more reactive than proactive. Again, you can't criminalize ingenuity. And though I understand that, like I said in the beginning, I agree and understand why there's a classification. I mean, we have a classification for everything else, you know, barbershops, shoes, things like that. I don't see that as a problem, but I do see it as another way where they can then pinpoint who's making purchases, how many purchases they are making, you know, and I could see it as an investigative tool. But not a lot of people that have a lot of guns go out and do a lot of shooting.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that you're saying, and it's true, you cannot criminalize ingenuity. Okay, Mike Brown, great conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.